I'm back, everybody. This is Gardening Warrior. We're in the cute kitchen. And I'm just wondering, have you ever looked at something and said, I've already got these cheeseburger sliders over here, and I got this cheeseburger mix already made. And then decided you wanted to do something a little different. Well, we're still making pinwheels. But I'm going to make some chili mac pinwheels. Cheeseburger chili mac pinwheels. I don't know how this is going to go. Come along and watch it develop. First off, we've got 3 cups of water. And some of that water was from the frying pan that I had already made the cheeseburger mix in. So I just had some water that I put in there and then added another 1.5 cups to make 3 cups. And so now we are going to, I've already got that on medium high. I'm going to go ahead and add my macaroni and cheese, 2 boxes. That's 1.5 cups for each box. 1.5 cups of water for each box. And I'm going to add some mild diced tomatoes with green chilies, pretty much Ro-tel, 10-ounce can. And we're going to add a 6-ounce can of my Azure Market tomato paste. And then I'm going to add the beef. And we're going to make something very interesting. So come along and watch. I'll be right back. So, we now have our 2 boxes of macaroni and cheese into the water, waiting for it to boil. About the time it comes up to a boil, and there's also the rotels are in there, undrained, 10-ounce can of rotels, and 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and 3.5 cups of water. I just added the extra 1/2 cup just in case. We can always drain it later. It's no big deal. But then after this comes to a boil, then we will let it boil for 7 minutes. And then we'll add the cheese sauce and we'll go from there. So I'll be back. Make sure you stir those noodles quite a bit. And I did put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in there. I didn't want to put too much salt because the beef that I'm using, the ground beef, is already seasoned. So I didn't want to over season. You can always add, but you can't take away. Alright, so what I ended up doing was boiling the macaroni and cheese. Did not have to drain it. I actually had to add another 1.5 cups of milk. You could add water, it wouldn't have been a problem, but I had milk and it was sitting here, so I used it. I ended up putting 2 ounces of cream cheese. We did not end up using the tomato paste because I could not get it open. So just the diced rotels that were undrained. 2 boxes of mac and cheese with the cheese sauce added. 2 ounces of the cream cheese and 1.5 cups of shredded Fiesta cheese. And I just tasted it. It is very nice. I do need to add just a little bit more salt to it. Oh yeah, and the pound of ground cheeseburger beef. What we're going to end up doing with the pinwheels is I'm going to make it with the pastrami and the salami. And make like an Italian pinwheel instead of the beef. Because, I don't know, I was just in the mood for mac and cheese, beefy mac and cheese, It's like a hamburger helper with but it was homemade. And it is absolutely magnificent. I'm going to let it cool off a little and see if Essie will eat it. She might not because of the big chunks of tomatoes. But if not, one of the other girls will. And we'll get a taste test. Wonderful. And that's how you fix a box of mac and cheese and make it a little, you know, something there. Alright, so just as promised, I am back with the pinwheels. And what I have done is I have taken a block and a half of softened cream cheese, 2 quarts of my home canned ugly chicken, which is just raw packed chicken, that's all it is. A tablespoon each of smoked paprika, minced garlic, granulated garlic, and taco seasoning, ranch seasoning, and salt and pepper. Yes, a tablespoon each of all that. Mixed it all together. There it is. And now we have opened up some crescents, preheated our oven to 375, and we have spread lightly the chicken cream cheese mix onto the crescent roll that I opened up, and I just pinched its little seams together. And now we're going to roll it, which I cannot do by myself with one hand and operate the camera. So I'm just going to show you. We're going to start at this end right here and roll it that way. Be right back. Alright, there's one. Alright, so the second roll did not want to pull apart as good as the first one, so we made little chicken spread wraps with those instead. And then there's a big guy, and now we've got our melted butter. This is literally just melted butter. You can add seasoning or poppy seeds or, you know, whatever you want with that. But I'm just putting butter on to make them pretty. And that'll make them nice and shiny when they come out. I assure you, these have only been used in my kitchen. Nowhere else ever. Just my kitchen. Alright, now we're going to bake them for 15 minutes. You can even put like Parmesan cheese or whatever you want on them. But again, I'm just leaving them like this because that way people who may not like poppy seeds or might not want cheese, who knows, in this house, I never know. They can just have them just like this. And when this one comes out, we're going to let him sit a little bit and then we're going to cut him. Oh, I forgot to tell you, there's a cup of shredded Fiesta cheese in there. So I'll have the directions down below. Alright, thank you. I'll be right back after I get these out of the oven. Look at this. No. He smells the chicken and he was just about to pounce up here on my counter. And I caught him. Hey! Fuzzball! No, sir! Alright, we'll be back in 15 minutes when this is done cooking. You can't really tell how beautiful they are. But they are absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to let this one sit there for a good 10-15 minutes before I even try to cut him. But I want to get these off of here so that their little bottoms don't get soggy. We don't want soggy bottom. chicken biscuits. Beautiful! What I've done is I've taken the big one, was not quite done yet, so I put a little bit of cheese in it and put it back in the oven, and so it'll be out soon. Probably at the same time as the others, or a little earlier. But these are what these look like. Little crescent roll-ups.